Hello everybody. I'm not sure if you're here yet, but hopefully you are. Just trying to get my camera set up here a minute. And you get to see the aftermath of earlier. That's what's left. But I couldn't get the video to work, so hope that works. I had my sound turned down on my phone from earlier, so I'm hoping that this will be okay. And I'm trying to just look real quick to see if I can get this to come up on my website page so I can look at you. Not look at you, so I can look for comments. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's try this. Okay, so hopefully this is working. So if you missed it earlier, I did a Zoom meeting, and there we go. Anyway, hey Cruz. So I did a Zoom meeting and I recorded it, but I couldn't get it to, well, I downloaded it to my computer, but then I couldn't get it to download to Facebook, and I needed to edit it a little bit because Jackie and I were talking afterwards, so I was trying to edit that part out. So anyway, couldn't do either one of those, so I'm hopping on and doing this now. So anyway, so this is what was left over from last time, but I had other paper. So, hold on, I need to turn my sound down on my computer. There we go. Don't want you to hear it twice. So I have other paper that I'm going to use. So if you have your supplies, you will need a piece of black cardstock or something similar that's dark. That is 8.5 by 5.5, and then you want to score it and fold it. This is scored, you can't tell, and fold it at 4 1/4. And I had to go grab my bone folder real quick. All right, so that's ready. Then you also need a piece of black cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. You need a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. You need another piece of Whisper White cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 1 inch. And a piece of black, or whatever color used here, cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. All right, and then I have bunch of scraps. This is different paper, but it'll still work. Scraps. These scraps are from the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper, but it's going to work. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat that I am not going to show you the card until we're done. So this is like a mystery card that is going to unfold before your eyes. So, anyway, what you're going to need first, if you have one, your silicone sheet. Get it out because we're going to be gluing, and you don't want to glue your stuff to your paper. Then you're going to need your piece of black, the single piece of black, not the base cardstock, that's 5 1/4 by 4. And you're going to need these pieces. I'm going to flip some of them over because I actually want to use the other side. They're 1 inch wide. Doesn't matter how long some of them are, they can be shorter. You do need at least 1 to 2 that are longer, like closer to 6 inches, because we're going to put them on the card kind of at an angle, and you want it to be able to hang off either side. So this is what I call flying by the seat of your pants card making. So there is no right or wrong way to do this. We're just going to first, we're just going to lay our pieces on here and kind of create as we go. So you want to start with one of your longer pieces and just put it across your cardstock like that. And then If you have another longer piece, I'm actually going to move this over a little bit. I'm going to put that right next to it. And you do want to make sure that you cover one of the corners. It's easier to have a piece that's kind of covered up. And you're going to want to space them out, leaving just a little bit of space between the two. You can see some of the black cardstock in between. And then the other pieces, we're just going to start laying them on however we want. So I'm going to put some this way, and don't necessarily want ones that are right next to each other to look exactly the same. So I'm going to put one over here. If they're too long, that's okay. Actually, I could use a smaller piece there. I do have a smaller one. Let's see, I like that one. So you're just going to kind of randomly place your pieces on here, however you want. I gotta see what some of these are. Not sure what I cut up and what I didn't. Let's put a piece of this. Nope, that's the same. Let's do this. And you can move them around after you're done, and kind of move them around while you're doing it to see what you like and what you don't like. I think I put the bird so I don't cut the head off. And let's put that one here. And let's see. I'm going to put this one, nope. Do this, but I'm going to move it down. Nope, I'm going to move it up just a teeny bit so that I can cover up the corner here. So I'm going to scoot those up just a tad. And what else have I got? Hey, get off of there. Stuff is getting stuck here. And if I don't like it, once I get it on there, I'm going to change it. Because I can. Let's do this piece of smaller. Do that. And maybe put another piece here. Maybe I'll do it this way. No, I got an idea. I'm gonna, hopefully I cut this straight. Yeah. That there. And I'm gonna put that one there. So you just kind of want to make sure that you cover up all four corners of your card. You can't even see where the corners are now. It looks so it's all covered up. So then once you kind of have it how you like it, and if you want to move it around, you can. I'm going to see if I have another piece that has more birds on it. That's just bird tails. Look, that one has a face. Let's put that one on there. Take that off. And I think that's about how I want it, maybe. Might switch this one. That one cut that one a little bit too short. It wasn't quite to the edge. Okay, so once you have it kind of how you want it, then you're going to start gluing them down. So you're actually going to start with the long one in the middle, and you don't have to put glue all the way to the end. So because it does overlap, so you can leave a little bit, not quite on the end. So I'm just going to put some glue on here. Put that over here. And then I'm going to put it down on my paper. Hope I'm not going too fast for you. Hopefully you had all your stuff cut beforehand. Okay, so then you're going to start in the middle and then you're going to go out. So I'm going to do this side first. So I'm just going to turn this one over. Put some glue on it. And don't forget, you want to leave an even amount of space. So that's what I'm trying to do, trying to make it even. Okay. Let's do this one. I have a new container of glue, so I got lots of glue coming out. Sometimes I don't have very much. So you're also, get that down there. So you're going to kind of want to make this the same. You're just kind of eyeballing it and trying to make it even. Reason I use glue is because I can slide it around if I don't get it quite in the right place. Ooh, that's a pretty piece on that side. And then this one. So you want to make sure you kind of get in the same amount of space here as you are going between the pieces. And there we go. This one. You can tell I have a really long piece, but I don't need all that because I'm only covering up the card here, so I'm not putting glue on the whole thing. In fact, I'm going to cut part of this off just to make it easier later. All right. And got one more piece here. Cover up over here. And now I'm going to start on the other side and do the other side of the card. So now I'm going to start and do this side. I'm just going to start at the top. And when you're doing the one piece of the top, you want to make sure you cover up that corner. Okay. Then did I have that? How did I have that? Yep, that looks good. Oh, I probably should have used that side. And you know, you can change it around while you're doing it too. If you decide I don't like that, just try a different piece. So you can do this with just about any paper, as long as you know your colors and stuff coordinate. And any size strips. These are 1-inch strips, but you could also do 3/4 of an inch strip. Of course, you'd have more. Or you could do 1/2 inch, then you'd have even more. I wouldn't probably do too much wider because you'll see when we get to the end of the card that then you're kind of lose some of the pattern. So put some glue on this one. Okay. Then I got this one. And I'm not sure who's watching, but who's ever watching, hope I'm not going too fast. And I got one more because I got a teeny little piece there, so I want to make it kind of colorful, so I'm actually going to turn it that way so I get a little more of the flower on there. Okay. So, put that one on there. And now I'm just going to stop for a minute and talk to you for a second. So hopefully if you're doing this yourself, that you can catch up a little bit to what I'm doing. So, I need to, there we go. All right. So hopefully you've got all of your pieces glued on, and now, because I've glued a little bit off the paper here, it's still stuck a little bit, or off my mat even, you're going to, yep, that's okay if your paper rips. You're going to take it off your mat, in case you glued it on there like I did, because I waited a minute. Let me get it off this way. Yep. My piece of paper came off. There we go. Do it this way. And it's okay if the paper rips because you're going to cut it off anyway. Okay, so this is the back side of your piece. Whoop, one of my pieces came off. Got to put that back on. Hold on. So when you get to the last piece, you might just need to put a little bit of glue right on your cardstock. So you make sure you get it glued on there. There you go. Well, well, hey, let's do it this way. Sometimes you gotta be a little inventive because it is sticky on the other side. There we go. Okay, so now you're gonna flip it over and you're gonna take your paper snips and you are going to start cutting. You'll start cutting and you're gonna cut off the paper even with the edge of your cardstock, your black cardstock. So there's one side and cut the other side. This is the fun part because it's going to be a surprise when you flip it over. So don't flip it yet. This side. And one more. And this side. Now it's sticking to my scissors. Okay, and that off. It's stuck to my hand. I think that's that same piece, just doesn't want to let go. And I think it looks pretty good. All right, now the moment of truth is when you get to move everything out of the way, get all your sticky pieces off, throw them away somewhere. And I'm actually going to flip my paper over because I was quite sticky earlier, so now it's not sticky anymore. You ready? Ta-da! And you have a very nice little pattern piece here. So the next thing you're going to do, now that you've got that done, is you're going to take your two smaller strips. We're going to stamp on the white one. And I am using this stamp that is a happy birthday stamp. And it is from and I had it a minute ago because I showed it to everybody. And who knows where I put it. Ah, did it? Yep, there it is. This is the Perennial Birthday stamp set. It's one of the stamp sets that's retiring. I actually use it a lot because it has a really nice big happy birthday on it. It's got a bunch of flowers that make really cute cards. Plus it's got a here celebrating you that you can use it other times besides birthday. This is wishing you the best on your special day. So any other days, and these other, most of the other ones are just birthday, but it's a really cute set, and plus it's got little dots over here you can use to decorate too. So anyway, I'm using this happy birthday stamp, and all you need is black ink. You don't need any special color. If you used a different color besides black on the background, say like if you used another darker color like navy blue or whatever, just coordinate your ink with your cardstock. But so I'm just going to stamp this up, and I'm going to stamp it right in the middle. Hopefully I'll get it even here. I have to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Close enough. Oop, got a little stuff on there. Let me put my lid back on my ink so I don't stick my hand in it. And then we're going to attach this right to this piece. Now you'll notice that the ends go all the way to the end, so they're even on the ends. So just going to put a little bit of glue on there. And just going to glue it down right down the middle. Okay, and then we're just going to put that on the front of our card, just right across the bottom. And you can add ribbon to this. You can add some rhinestones or pearls or sequins, anything you want on the end. If you want to make it a little fancier, you can do that. And then we're going to take our card base and we're going to put that right on top of our card base and glue that down. And this card is almost finished. This card goes together really quick, as long as you can decide where you're putting your pieces, that is. And it's a great way to use up some of your scraps, and it makes a really pretty card. And then the Whisper White piece that you had is to go on the inside of your card so that you can be able to write on it. And so I'm just going to glue that in. If you have extra pieces of the strips that you have, and if they're long enough, you can add them to the inside of your card. Got something on there. I have to wipe that off in a minute. Got some little, there we go. Get off. There you go. And let me see what I got that's long enough. Nope. Yep, that one's long enough. Hey, that's the perfect length too. How about that? So I'm actually going to add that to the side of my card. And actually, I think I'm going to just cut it a little bit so it's not quite so fat. You just cut it in half. So it's going to, so this piece would be a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. I'm just going to run it down the side here, just to give my inside a little bit of something. There we go. And your card is done. Now I'm going to show you the other card that I did earlier that I did with the Poppy Parade card, because that's what I showed you. Thing. So this is the card that I did earlier. And like I said, if you want to decorate the sides of it, you can. This is one, like the first one I did. I had some black little rhinestone looking things that I put on. And I also made one out of this paper earlier. And that one I stamped the birthday farther over on the end, and then I just stuck a little bow on it. So you can do it either way. So there you have it. A couple cards, really easy to make, great way to use up some of your scrap paper. Just remember 4-inch strips, or 1-inch strips, and just put them on any way you want. Kind of makes it look a little quilted. So you can see, like on this one, I even used one little small piece. They don't all have to be long. In fact, you could use a whole bunch of little squares and it would look just as cute. So that is your project for tonight. I'm not sure what the name of this is, but I like the flying by the seat of your pants card. So because that's what you're doing. Hope you have a great night, and I will see you next time. Good night.